You've been lied to. They told you to hustle harder, visualize bigger, chase faster. They sold you the illusion that wanting something desperately enough would bend reality to your will. But here's the truth they won't tell you. The more desperately you chase, the further it runs. You've become like a man grasping at water. The tighter your fist closes, the more slips through your fingers. This isn't motivation. This is madness dressed in ambition. The ancient Stoics understood something modern self-help has forgotten. Manifestation isn't about forcing the universe to obey your desires. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what they seek. Not through desperation, but through discipline. Not through begging, but through being. Marcus Aurelius commanded armies and empires, yet he never chased power. Seneca accumulated wealth beyond measure, yet he never worshipped it. Epictetus gained freedom while wearing chains. They understood the paradox: when you stop needing something, when you build yourself into someone worthy of it, everything you truly need comes to you. Today, you learn their 8 brutal rules. These aren't empty platitudes from modern gurus selling courses. These are principles forged in the furnace of real life by men who faced death, exile, slavery, and the weight of empires. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations in a war tent, blood on his hands, mortality staring him down. Seneca counseled emperors while navigating the treacherous politics of Rome, eventually facing execution with calm dignity. Epictetus began as a slave with a broken leg, yet became one of history's greatest teachers of freedom. Their wisdom wasn't theoretical, it was survival. It was mastery. For over 2,000 years, these principles have transformed ordinary men into forces of nature. Not through magic, through truth. And today, that truth becomes yours if you're brave enough to abandon comfort for character. Before we continue, do something that costs you nothing but changes everything. If this message resonates, leave a comment with 3 words: I am ready. Not for me. For you, let it be your declaration, your line in the sand. The moment you stop being a spectator and become a participant. And if you believe someone in your life needs to hear this, share it with them. Truth shared multiplies. Now let's begin your transformation with the first rule. Rule 1. Control your perception, not your circumstances. The first rule shatters your illusions. You cannot control what happens to you, but you control everything about how you perceive it. The Stoics taught that events themselves are neutral, only your judgment makes them good or bad. Imagine 2 men lose their jobs. One sees catastrophe. The other sees liberation to pursue what truly matters. Same event, different perception, completely different lives. Your mind is a fortress, and perception is the gate. A warrior doesn't curse the rain during battle. He adjusts his strategy. When you stop demanding reality conform to your preferences, and instead master your interpretation of it, you become unshakable. This is where power begins. In the space between what happens and what you make it mean. Rule 2. Desire only what is within your control. Epictetus warned that desiring what you cannot control is choosing voluntary slavery. Your reputation, others' opinions, outcomes, results, all beyond your grasp. Your effort, your virtue, your response, your character, entirely within it. Most people exhaust themselves chasing approval, success markers, external validation. They've built their peace on shifting sand. The Stoic builds on stone. Want to write a great book? You cannot control if it becomes a bestseller, but you control sitting down to write every day. Think of a gardener. He plants seeds, waters them, removes weeds. He cannot force the harvest, but he can control his cultivation. Focus there. Pour your energy into your actions, and release attachment to results. Rule 3. Practice voluntary discomfort. Seneca deliberately slept on hard floors, ate simple food, wore rough clothing, not from poverty, but from wisdom. He called it preparing the mind for fortune's reversals. When you voluntarily embrace discomfort, you remove fear's power over you. Take cold showers. Fast occasionally. Sit in silence. Do the hard thing when the easy path beckons. This isn't punishment. It's inoculation. Consider the blacksmith tempering steel. He subjects it to extreme heat not to destroy it, but to strengthen it. Every voluntary hardship is a deposit in your resilience account. When real adversity arrives, and it will, you'll stand while others crumble because you've already walked through fire by choice. Comfort is seductive. Discipline is freedom. Rule 4. Die before you die. Marcus Aurelius meditated on his mortality daily, not from morbidity, but from clarity. He asked, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Death isn't your enemy, it's your teacher." When you genuinely accept your impermanence, trivial concerns dissolve. That argument? Meaningless. That grudge? Wasteful. That fear of judgment? Laughable. Imagine watching your own funeral. What would you wish you'd done differently? Said, risked? Now do that today. The awareness of death doesn't diminish life, it concentrates it. Like sunlight through glass, mortality focuses your energy on what truly matters. Stop living as if you have infinite time. You don't. Act accordingly. Rule 5. Eliminate unnecessary desires. The Stoics distinguished between natural necessary desires and empty cravings manufactured by society. You need water, food, shelter. You don't need the latest phone, luxury car, designer clothes to impress strangers. Every unnecessary desire is a chain you forge for yourself. Seneca observed that the person who craves little cannot be impoverished. The person who craves much cannot be satisfied. Picture your desires as luggage you carry up a mountain. Every unnecessary want adds weight, slowing your ascent. The modern world profits from your dissatisfaction, constantly creating new needs. Reject this. Ask of every desire, is this genuine or manufactured? Essential or optional? Freedom begins when wanting ends. Rule 6. Serve something greater than yourself. The paradox. Selfishness leads to emptiness. Service leads to fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome yet saw himself as a servant to the common good. Epictetus taught that we're all parts of a greater whole, like organs in a body. When you anchor yourself to a purpose beyond personal gain, failure loses its sting and success loses its intoxication. You become steady. Think of a river. It doesn't exist for itself, but to nourish the land it crosses. When you shift from "what can I get" to "what can I give," your energy transforms. Contribute to your family, community, craft, or truth. Service isn't sacrifice. It's the secret to significance. Rule 7. Practice negative visualization. This ancient technique separates the Stoic from the optimist. Regularly imagine losing what you value, your health, loved ones, possessions, status. Not to become pessimistic, but to eliminate entitlement and deepen gratitude. When you've mentally rehearsed loss, you appreciate what's present. You stop taking people for granted. Seneca said we're merely borrowing everything. Nothing truly belongs to us. Consider the photographer who values his camera more after imagining it stolen. He handles it with care, maintains it properly, captures better images. Negative visualization doesn't attract misfortune. It prepares you for life's inevitable changes while helping you treasure the temporary gifts you currently hold. Gratitude flows from accepted impermanence. Rule 8, which is most powerful. Trust the process. Embody the character. Here's the final truth that brings everything together. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. The universe isn't a vending machine responding to desperate wishes. It's a mirror reflecting your character back to you. The Stoics understood that timing belongs to fate, but character belongs to you. You cannot force the harvest, but you can become the kind of farmer who deserves one. When you embody virtue, courage, discipline, wisdom, justice, you fundamentally change your frequency. Opportunities you couldn't manufacture appear. People you couldn't manipulate trust you. Resources you couldn't force flow to you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. This is the brutal truth they won't teach you. Stop asking, when will it come? And start asking, who must I become? Build your character with such integrity that when your moment arrives, you're not scrambling to prepare, you're already worthy. Everything comes to those who've become everything. You now hold 8 principles that have transformed emperors, slaves, and everyone between. But information without implementation is just entertainment. The Stoics never asked if you understood. They asked if you practiced. So here's your challenge. Choose one rule. Not all 8. 1. Apply it today with fanatical consistency. Control your perception of the next obstacle you face. Eliminate one unnecessary desire. Practice voluntary discomfort once. The path isn't complicated. It's simple. But simple isn't easy. Remember, you were never supposed to chase desperately. You were supposed to build deliberately. Become so grounded in virtue, so solid in character, so clear in purpose that what's meant for you cannot miss you. This is Stoicism. This is mastery. This is how everything you need comes to you, not through begging the universe, but through becoming someone the universe recognizes. Now go, build yourself.